Welcome to PKC This Week. Where we talk all things professional kennel club. Found only on Cane Stream Media. Brought to you by Elite Nutrition, Joy Dog Food, and the Professional Kennel Club. Now, let's start the show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another PKC This Week. I am Josh Michaelis, and I am joined, finally, been a few weeks since I've had Shane Patton as a guest. Shane, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Ready to get back with it.
Well, I guess not just a guest co-host. I'm used to being the regular host, and I'm kind of a co-host with you and Christy. It's a little different.
There you go. That's right. Second fiddle. Your second fiddle.
Yep, we had Christy'd been on, but between travel and work and all that things, we'd skipped a few weeks as far as us both being on here. But you're on here now, Shane. So we've got Michigan Madness just wrapping up. We've got Labor Day Classic just coming. We got Super Stakes coming. We've got, of course, everybody's looking forward to Nationals down in Aurora. A lot of good stuff going on in PKC. But yeah, Michigan Madness, it looked like they did legacy hunts there this year, right?
Yes, legacy hunts. Thursday, Friday, Saturday did a 64 dog legacy, and then they always put up a little added purse on the open event for spillover for the guys who don't get legacy entries, and filled the legacy all 3 nights, 64 dogs, and had spillover each night. 16 one night, 8 on Saturday. I think it was 10 on Thursday. I can't remember the exact numbers, but a really, really good turnout for Michigan.
And
Madness.
I seen on
Go ahead,
the Monday, Tuesday warm-up hunts, they had like 48 and 54, I think, or something like that.
They averaged like 52 dogs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like you said, 50, 54, 48, right there, right around 50 dogs, which is for a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is exceptional. But I'm going to tell you, those guys, all the props, Tracy Thompson, Rick St. Clair, everybody up there, they go above and beyond to put on a good event. I mean, those guys worked their tails off. They started that thing years ago, and it's been a yearly staple. I need to go back and see what number this is, because it's been around a long time. And
I know it's had to have been 20 years or better, because as long as I can remember paying attention to coon hunting, they've always had. I've always wanted to make a trip up there. Luckily, I got to hunt it reading a few times, but there is zero cell phone service up there.
No, you're right.
I wanted to go up there and cover it a couple of times, but there's no way, unless they get Wi-Fi in their building, we're going to be able to do that.
And it's a great place to hunt, but I hadn't been to Michigan a terrible amount of times until Michigan Madness. I started going up there. They have a different breed of mosquitoes up there too. They're about this tall, and it sounds like a 747 coming in, but it's good hunting. It is great hunting. It really is.
Last time I was up there, I killed a mosquito that actually had a tick on it.
Yeah, I guarantee it. Yes. If they get together, they can pack you off. It is not out of question. But I did talk to a couple guys, and they said the coons didn't move great on the weekend, basically all week. They still treat coons, but said the coons didn't cooperate as good as usual, but they still had some good scores. And gosh, like I said, all the props go out to them, because they put a ton of work into that every single year. They roll the money each year, year. You know, they don't take anything out of it. They put it all back in the hunt for 26 and 27 and 28. So those guys do a good job, and have done a good job for years. They've got it figured out. They know how to do it, and it's one of the premier open events in the country. I mean, it's up there. You know, you got them and Bear Creek, the Bear Creek
Yep.
Classic, pretty
What
comparable
who do you
numbers.
think trees the most coons, the Bear Creek Classic or Michigan Madness? Because they are both. That is
Oh,
probably the two most coon treeingest events in all of
absolutely.
PKC.
Just from what I've heard, I'm going to say Bear Creek got them this year.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's nip tuck every year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Give me one second. Sorry about that. That was the
How are you
office
though?
phone. Yeah, give me a second.
But no,
Can we
Bear Creek.
pause for a second?
Bear.
Whatever. You're gonna have to
No,
pause.
you're good.
I'm gonna
If
have
you're
to.
gonna, I'm talking, so the camera's on me anyway,
Hello.
Shane. Yeah.
Hey, can I call you back? I'm on a podcast with Michaelis.
Who still has a landline?
No. That's the office phone. That's just
Oh, okay.
it's the connection between me and the office right there.
I got you. So it's like the red phone in the Oval Office.
Exactly.
It's like you.
Exactly.
It's
That's
like, are you Putin or is RD?
you can decide that. I'm not.
But
Anyway,
anyway,
sorry about that.
back to the open events. You're looking at that, and then you're looking at another one, which is a Labor Day Classic, which is a coon tree and fest sometimes too. But it's kind of ebbed and flowed as far as entries where it's
Yes.
been.
Yes.
I know when they had it in Greensburg,
Yep.
we went there that one year, and my gosh, there was like 130, 140 dogs
Mhm.
or something like that every
Yep.
night. Just a
Yep.
cast win
Yep.
paid almost $200, I think, that one year. I
Yeah.
mean, it was nuts the amount of dogs there, and then it kind of went down for a little bit, and then it's kind of on its way back up. I noticed the entries were higher last year,
Yep.
and so it's coming up here pretty quick. What do folks have to look forward to whenever that comes?
Absolutely. DuPont. It's been at DuPont, the actual club, which is plenty big enough to hold. It's a nice facility. They got 1,000 added Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's some warm ups on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Jerry Mall actually has a warm up, and then Cross Plains has got a couple warm ups the nights before on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
But then the main event starts Thursday. 1,000 added. Of course, we have the overall champion. Also, which gets I think there's 200 added for the overall champion throughout the from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are not involved in that.
Yeah.
But they also do a great job. I know there's one up the road going on at the same time that obviously people go to and frequent quite a bit, and that's it's a big event. I
Yeah.
completely understand that, but a lot of times people go north, and then when it comes time to hunt, they come back south and go hunting. I hear a lot of people say, "Where you been today?" "Oh, I've been up north, and now I'm coming back to go coon hunting." So, but yeah, it's a good event. It's been a staple for years. A few years, entries were down a little bit, and I know as well as you know, it's summer. It can be
Hmm.
125 degrees. It's very possible,
Yes.
and that affects it probably as much as anything. People
Probably more than anything. I know,
exactly.
like last year, I went to Autumn Oaks. I go help. We got a booth. Joy Dog Food's
Sure.
got some stuff there. I do stuff there with UKC Media and all that.
Hmm.
And then my plans are always, I bring a couple dogs,
Hmm.
um, and then I go down to the Labor Day Classic and I'll hunt. And it's just a format I prefer, and that's what I have. I have a good time up at Richmond. I have a, good time at night when I'm hunting. But last year it was a bajillion degrees.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was a bajillion degrees.
Yeah.
So I didn't even go down there. I'm thinking it's
And
88 at night. I'm good. I think
yeah,
I'm gonna ride this one out.
and that is the biggest factor probably in the whole mix is, and
Yeah.
I know it's that, hey, Labor Day is considered the last week of summer for some people. It's the last two
Yeah.
raw, and it's hot. Now,
Yeah.
it's hot here right now. I know next weekend is supposed to cool off tremendously here, so we'll see what that following week does.
Well,
But
there's some years where it's really nice. It's some
oh,
years where I've
absolutely.
had a hoodie on at
Yep.
Richmond and had to wear a hoodie at night hunting, the
Yeah.
Labor Day Classic too. So
Yeah.
see what the weather is. Better have
Absolutely.
your dog prepared for a little bit of everything. Could be cool, could
Absolutely.
be just get them in shape and then you ain't got to worry about it.
Absolutely. And coons are plentiful there as well. They
Yeah.
got a and they John Long. Larry Woman do a good job there too. They're getting those guides, and they're always in big safe. One thing you never hear complaints, and I know you hear complaints all over the place about certain things, but big safe hunting, they've got it. They have
Yeah.
got it's big safe hunting in Indiana. That's for sure.
The last year I competed at the Labor Day Classic wasn't very long ago, but I was hunting scent. She was older. And of course, she was 9 at the time, 8 or 9. She's 11
Mhm.
now. So it's been a couple of years. And I had the cast one with about 9 minutes left, and everybody withdrew. And they're just like, well, just go ahead. And I treed one coon for 200, I think. They said, well, send her down this ditch into this giant cornfield, and we had plenty of room. And I'm thinking, no, I think I'm just going in. They're like, no, 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 just go ahead. And I can't remember who was on the cast with me, but they're like, hey, she could tree a coon and get in and she could do this. And I said, yeah, but she's 9. I've hunted her a long time.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna. she's she's done treat her coon. She's not gonna treat. Took her 51 minutes to tree the first one or whatever. I said she's not gonna tree the second one. And that guy said, well, I'll go get her if you turn her loose. He goes, if she ain't treated, I'll go get her. There's coons. It was the guy because there's coons everywhere down through here. I said, all right, sounds good. Walk my minute cutter. She gets out in the middle of this 200 acres of corn and is running out there, and the time runs out. I said, well, I'm going to go to the truck. I'll meet you over at the end, right? And he did, went in there and got my dog, walked out to the deal. I said, I told you, that's what you get.
I bet that's the last deal he made right there.
Yeah, I bet it was. I bet it was. But no, it's a good hunt. It's one hunt that I've really, I've hunted 5 or 6 different dogs there over the years, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, it's a
Absolutely.
lot of coons, it's a lot of good hunting,
Yep.
and it's worth going to.
Absolutely. It's a good hunt. Hope to see everybody there in a couple weeks.
Yeah. And then you got, of course, the big granddaddy of them all in the early fall, and that is Super Stakes coming up.
Absolutely. Can't wait. Ready to go. Actually, been talking to Dial quite frequently, getting some guides lined up, getting some help lined up for the overflow. September 15th, we kick her off. Of course, we got the qualifying nights, the first 4 nights for the sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and then the baby stakes. They can't qualify till Thursday night,
Yep.
and they got Thursday and Friday qualifying, and then the other 3 divisions, they start their quarterfinals on Friday. And along with all of that, we got the Youth World in there too. We can't forget about that. That starts on Thursday. And so that is the busiest week
Yeah.
we probably have. World Hunt, don't get me wrong, World Hunt is crazy busy that week. But when you put the Super Stakes and the kiddos and the baby stakes, Thursday night can be just a little bit hectic, just a little
And
bit. So,
and
but
for anybody listening to this, we love to have some judges out there for them kids.
absolutely, absolutely,
All
yes,
all
yes,
them all them the sport is dying that people are yelling from their couch on Facebook. Get your butts up. Come help these kids on the weekend.
yep,
We need pre-K or pre through 13 judges. We need judges
absolutely,
for the young kids. We need all the help we can get. If we get judges for the older kids, even that'd be awesome. So yeah.
yes,
And those
and
guys that do not get in at Super Stakes, keep your asses around. These guys did that for you when you were a baby. I said,
absolutely
you might as well come back in,
return it,
stay a couple more days, help these kids out.
absolutely,
It would
and
be a big deal.
even the guys who get in on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we can sure use some help on Thursday. I know you guys
Yep.
are going to hunt Friday night. It's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Applebee's will still be open after that cast is over.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's correct. That's correct. So, yeah, come judge a cast for us. We greatly appreciate it. I think Chris Freiberger, who's our youth director, has got a list going. Um, contact me, contact him. If you can just do one cast, we're not. You're not going to be obligated to judge all 6 rounds, all the way through. If you can give us one cast, that'd be
Yep.
great. And we have parents who bring their kids, the older kids, 14, 15, 16. They always volunteer to help us with the younger ones while their kids out hunting. We greatly appreciate if you can do that. Sign up. We'll sure. But we also, if you want to go with your kid, we're dang sure not trying to get you not to do that. If you want to go enjoy the cast with your kid, go enjoy the cast. That's what it's all about. But if you're not going with your child, hey, come help us. We'll gladly put you to work.
Oh, I mean, a lot of these guys, like what I do with Jace, I see Jace gets in with, you know, two or three kids that I know with parents that I know and stuff. And yeah, he's only 13 or 14, but I know he's okay out there. He knows his
Sure.
dog. He can go get his dog. Those guys are going to take really good care of him. I could stay and judge a different cast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know coon hunters are, we've got a good group of people. We really do. I mean, I realize there's always a few apples in every cart that don't jive,
Hmm.
but 9 out of 10 times I would feel 100% safe sending my kid out with Johnny and Jimmy and whoever else. They're going to take it.
Yeah.
They're not going to leave the kid out there. They're going to take care of the kid. They're going to make sure he's got his dog. They're going to make sure he's got a ride. They're not
You
leaving him
bet.
side of the road because at 14-year-old, they're
Yeah.
we got a good group. We got a good group of people.
Of all those coon hunters, who would you not send your kid with?
You cut out. Do what?
I said of all those coon hunters, yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. It's just me, isn't it? It's just me.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
okay. I can
talking to
live with
one for sure. Yeah. Yeah. You would say, yeah, call your dad. That little
it.
blankety blanket.
That's right. It depends on how far the kid's dog is. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
let's be honest.
Yeah. You say 1.2, I've got to
Yeah,
go, but you be sure
yeah.
to get your
You
ride
stay
back.
right here. I'll send your dad.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, there's a lot of good stuff coming up. We've got two major open events. We've got Super Stakes. Of course, there's Nationals coming in Aurora in
Yeah.
October. So, it's going to be a busy late summer, early fall, as always at PKC, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I was doing the well, we just talked about it. I've been working on the major
Yep.
event for next year for 26, and whew, we got to get through 25 first.
Yes.
We got the
When will the major event schedule be out for everybody to look at?
I hope to have it out next week so we can
Good.
we've got to get some state championship dates set.
Yeah.
Those we're sending out the forms actually today to the state presidents to get those dates lined out. And they take a minute, and I know that's a lot to they got to try to look at their schedule for their
Yeah.
state and try to get that booked. Most of the time they're pretty consistent. Second weekend of March is this one, third
Yeah.
weekend of, but there's always some changes. So I hope to have it out maybe next week. We've got the dates set for the big ones, Super Stakes, World Hunt, Nationals. That's pretty well set
Yeah.
for you. But we'll release the whole thing hopefully next week with state championships, big pro classics, the big open events. Hopefully next week. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Speaking of big
Good.
pro classics, we do have the 6,500 at Junction still
Yeah.
to come before that. I was doing the calendar for myself. 6,500 at Junction, Super Stakes, Nationals, Youth World. Very, very busy September and first week of October. Very
The
busy.
good news is pretty much everything's fairly close to the house, other than, well, how far is it to Aurora? A couple hours for you?
About an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I
See,
don't have to go too far from home, but it's gonna be a busy time.
that
Busy
is the
time.
only good thing about living in Southern Illinois.
There you go. We're surrounded by everything. Well, there's
That's
some other
right.
things
All the
too. I
major
mean,
events are usually within pretty good driving
that's
distance.
right. Hey,
I love where I
also,
live, but it's 10 hours from everywhere.
exactly. I don't want to. We got time, but I don't want to forget it. I don't know if you saw it or not, but the Senior World Hunt
Yes. Yeah.
is going to be in Adamsville, Tennessee this
Yep.
year.
Yep.
And I'd like to say we appreciate Paducah putting that thing on for the last few years, but they got the Nationals in Aurora. That's Paducah. They're going to be
Right.
working their
Yeah.
tails off, and they just said, "Hey, after that week, we're going to need a little break." And I completely understand. So Adamsville, Tennessee stepped up. 30th, 31st, and 1st. I hope those dates are right because I'm doing it off the top of my head.
I
Uh,
believe so. It's the last weekend. I
it's
know it's the last
Halloween.
weekend. Yeah. Yeah.
Halloween, I can tell you. It's
Yeah.
Halloween night. So the seniors got to have $100 won
Yeah.
lifetime. That's pretty well everybody who's ever coon hunted. If they're
Yep.
60 or above and have $100, if they've ever coon hunted, they've got their $100. So call in, get your reservations. That's a great event. I love going to that event, seeing some of the old timers Sorry,
Have
guys,
you
old timers. But
have you seen some of those casts though? Imagine the
oh yeah,
bloodbath that those
oh
casts are. I look over there and it's like
yeah,
Eldon Quirk and Sluggo and Barry Kitty all in the same cast. I'm like, what? I mean,
yes,
that is a
yes.
whole thing full of heavy hitters.
Oh, there was a cast last year, and I don't even remember. I think the combined earnings was something crazy. I can't even
Oh
remember
yeah.
the numbers, but it was like, good grief, a whole lifetime of earnings. It was nuts. It was.
Every time I see a senior cast at the World Hunt, and I'll hear someone say, "Well, I'd like to go with those guys. A walk and be better at this." I said, "I wouldn't. I'd get my butt. I'd get my brakes beat off by all of those guys. I don't want no part of none of
Yes,
them."
yes. Well, I won't mention a name. We'll leave it out for now. But somebody came up and said last year at the World Hunt, I'd like to get a senior cast. And okay, no problem. Who's in there? They've opened it up and started naming names. He's like, I don't want a senior cast. I'll just stay right. I'll just stay.
Yeah, that's where
I
I'm
said,
at.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you a bit.
Yeah, yeah, I don't
No,
either. Well,
but
let's get into some rules to close this thing out, Shane. What do you
all right,
think?
sounds like a winner.
I thought that maybe we would go through some tree rules. I actually only wanted to go through one tree rule, and I
Okay.
think we may do that. And this
Okay.
is one thing that you see it's different with every judge, every cast, it seems like, and that is let's see, it's tree rules are 9A through H. And I believe it's the proceeding to tree rule.
Hmm.
Oh no, it's B. It's 9B. Listening for dogs.
Hmm.
All right. Now this is black and white right here, easy peasy, right there in the blue book. And it says the cast should stop when requested by handlers to listen for their dogs until 3 minutes are up. So
Hmm.
basically, until that tree is closed, someone wants to stop and listen, you stop and listen.
Absolutely.
But it's after that that stuff gets a little finicky and gets different
And,
in between judges. And
and
so and we know how these dogs are. They're all spread out all over the country, especially in the last few minutes of a hunt. Everybody's wanting to stop and listen, but this tree is closed right here. And so, how does a judge handle that when everybody's wanting to stop and listen? Everybody's wanting to do this. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be at the end of the hunt, but just during the hunt.
it it just said in black and white until the 3 minutes is up.
Yes.
When the 3 minutes is up, we go to that tree. Now, I realize sportsmanship, common sense,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to say. And I've seen this done and I have done it. The 3 minutes is up. We're walking to a tree. We're down to the last 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever. Everybody hears their dog treat in four directions. Judge, you got me here. Judge, you got me here. Judge, you got me here. No, I don't have any of you because we're walking to this tree. And it's been done numerous times. Josh, your tree's dead. Go handle your dog. I'll be right there. They stop. They give them a quick listen. If they tree, they don't tree, whatever. That's on them. We proceed. And I've actually seen a lot of handlers. I won't say a lot of handlers, a few handlers who said, "Hey, it's the last 30 minutes. I'm going to go handle my dog. If everybody's good, Judge. If you hear them, I'm good with it." So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously a sportsmanship factor that plays into that. But the blue book does say when your tree's dead, you proceed to the tree.
Yeah.
Black and
And
white, that's what it says.
even and what we usually do and what I do is, hey, can we stop and listen? Tree's closed. If I'm judging, unless it's something crazy, it's quickly,
Yes,
quickly. And I will
yes.
I will pause for 5, 6 seconds
Yep, yep,
tops.
yep,
And he'll say, "Do you got him?" And I'll say no. And
yep.
then or yes, whatever the weather
Sure.
I do or don't. Usually it's no because
Yep.
usually they're point no, and handlers can hear their dogs better than a guy who's never hunted with a dog
Sure.
or don't hunt with
Sure.
it as much. That's common knowledge. But
Absolutely.
yeah, it just we'll pause. But some of these guys take it a little bit to an extreme, and they're 40 yards behind the cast,
Hmm.
and you're going to a closed tree, and they're screaming from back there, "Judge, do you got me?"
Yeah.
And you're trying to scream back. And so it's important for the handler. I know you want to hear your dog.
Sure.
I want to hear your dog as a
Mhm.
non-hunting judge, or sometimes as a cast member. Not always as a cast member do I want to hear your dog, but as a non-hunting judge, I always want to hear your dog too. I'm
Sure.
not trying to ignore you or your dog. That's important to say, but also, this guy needs to get to his tree. Maybe he's a coon down after this tree, and
Mhm.
every second matters. How many seconds, how many hunts do we see one in the last 20, 30 seconds where that could really
Absolutely.
make a difference?
Absolutely. I think, and like I said, it says in black and white when the tree's over, you go to the tree. Stopping for 5 seconds to listen, that's not harmful to
Hmm.
anybody. And as you well know, you may have to stop more than that to put a two on a dog if you got one that
Yep.
chews, whatever. I mean, there's going
Right.
to be times that you stop. Um, so when the tree's dead, you get to the tree. Stopping for 5 seconds, stop. That's
Yeah.
but we're not going to stop and sit here and listen for the next 45 seconds unless the handler whose dog's treed says, "Hey, stop and let him listen to the end of the hunt." If he
Yep.
grants that wish, hey, that's on him. That's we'll stop and listen. Um, we need to proceed to the tree. And I'll tell you, I'm gonna feed off that just a little bit. And it says right there, you can listen up until that 3 minutes is up.
Hmm.
And we all do it. Of course, when I hunted, I used to do it. When that tree's made, we start our watch. When the first minute is up, second and third tree's closed, what do? We're gone.
Yep.
We tighten up on that dog. That's the thing to do. But the handlers have got a right to listen for their dogs. And it says in black and white, they've got a right
Yep.
to listen to their dogs. Um, so if they ask you to stop 5 times before that three's up, by rule, you stop and you listen. We need to proceed. We need to get in there. This dog's 1.2 and we've got
Yep.
to walk ahead and we need to be making ground. But until that tree's dead, they've got a right to stop and listen. And maybe he's backing the other dog, maybe he's close, maybe he's thinking about covering, maybe he's split treed, whatever it may be, they got a right to listen. When the horn goes off, the 3 minutes is up, we're going.
They have a right to listen, even if, like, there's an instance, and I've done this before, your minute's up and they want to walk, and I say, no, I want to stand right here
Mhm.
because maybe my dog is back here and I don't want to walk away from him for a
Sure,
minute and a half and then listen again with
sure,
30 seconds to go or 15 seconds to
sure.
go. And
Yep,
so, yeah, I mean, you don't want to be rude, you don't want to be, but also it is in the rules, and it's the job of the handler to use the rules to their advantage and the dog's advantage and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to, in that 3 minutes, if you want to stop and listen, or you don't want to walk, you don't have to. I mean,
sure,
you
exactly.
you can pretty much
And that
stay.
doesn't most of the time, I say most of the time, 80, 90% of the time,
Yeah.
we're going to walk after a minute.
Oh yeah.
Dogs are that way anyway. Everything's,
Yep.
but there is the occasion where you said, my dog's a mile behind us. If I don't get to tree him here, I'm not going to get to tree this entire cast because we're
Exactly.
walking a mile away from him.
Yep.
So give me my minute and a half or whatever's left. Hey, we'll go. But like I said, that doesn't happen a lot. Most of the time, when the
Nope.
minute's up, we're trucking. But they do have to give them a chance to listen to their dog.
Yep. All right. That's it. That's the question answered. It's right there in black and white, but also use some common sense and some courtesy. I mean, as long
Absolutely.
as you do that, everybody's probably going to get along. Everybody's going to hear the dogs that need heeded, need heard. And as a judge, the guy that judges every now and then, my pet peeve is when that guy is so far behind the cast that I have to scream,
Yeah.
"No, I can't hear your dog.
Yeah.
Stay
Yeah.
with the cast." I know I
Well,
do it too sometimes, but
yeah.
stay with the
Well,
cast.
we've all done it, but it
Yes.
just you're right. And what you just said, and we'll close with this. Common sense goes a long way
Yes.
in these events. Don't make it harder than it really is. Just use a little common sense.
Nope. No sense in overcomplicating it.
Absolutely not.
All right, Shane. That's all I got. You got anything to add?
See you this weekend at a hunt somewhere. Come
All
see us.
right. All right. Sounds good. This is PKC this week. We thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next